Hi guys, I'm John, and this is my story for Early Wake Up Call. The story was about Lester Popkin. He was a star athlete, attractive and smart, so he basically had the whole world given to him. Lester earned a full scholarship to play Division One basketball in high school. He was a starting point guard his freshman year of college, and eventually became a member of the All Conference team for his sophomore and junior seasons. He had aspirations to play professionally, either NBA, the NBA D League, or somewhere overseas. Lester was not guaranteed to get drafted to the NBA or play professionally. He did have a chance, though, so it wasn't totally far fetched. Unfortunately, his senior season, Lester tore his ACL, which is a devastating injury in basketball, in the fifth game of the season. Lester had to undergo reconstructive knee surgery on his torn left ACL. His college basketball career was over, for sure, but his professional career was hanging on by a thread. Lester was put on medications such as morphine, tramadol, and fentanyl, each of which is a pain medication. Lester became a huge fan of fentanyl. He liked fentanyl because it gave him a sense of euphoria as well as relieved his pain from his surgery and injury. It also helped him to forget about the life-changing injury he had just suffered. Lester did not want to play the role of an NBA journeyman, which is when a player is not usually good enough to stay on one team for a long portion of their career, and they end up playing for multiple franchises, which is a very unstable job. Lester applied to medical school in as a result. He passed his exams and he was in the 90th percentile. Lester chose to study anesthesiology. Anesthesiologists use drugs to do their jobs. They take care of like the knocking out the patients so they're not awake while they're under surgery. Uh, Lester began to think about how easy it would be to sneak some fentanyl from his job for himself, since that was one of the main drugs he dealt with. At the time, Lester and his wife Martha were growing apart, and he couldn't cope with the motions. He stole fentanyl by switching the syringes with a different, similar substance. Lester took fentanyl for a few months. The head of the anesthesia department at the hospital was Dr. Robert Dirksen. Uh, Dirksen was a big college basketball fan and remembered Lester as a player. Eventually, Dirksen noticed a recent change in Lester's behavior and was suspicious. Dirksen decided to have the syringes tested, which are the ones that um, Lester was switching for himself. Lester had been caught by the test results. Dirksen planned to fire him, but gave him an extra day because he had a day off during the week. So he planned to fire him the day he came back. But however, Lester was paged due to an emergency kidney transplant on his day off. And when making a syringe of fentanyl, he put a little too much by accident. And once everyone had left after the surgery, he took the fentanyl and eventually overdosed and died. This story stood out to me initially because I'm a huge basketball fan, and drug addiction is unfortunately seen a little too often in sports, especially basketball. Players get a huge payday that they're not accustomed to and blow the money. Drugs are the usual culprit they spend their money on. Players such as Len Bias and Chris Herron are two significant drug addictions examples in basketball. The story seemed crazy how Lester was able to steal drugs from the hospital basically on a daily basis, and it's hard to believe how Lester, after all the experience with drugs, especially studying them in school and then taking them for so long, blew my mind how he could overdose. And it's a really bad story, unfortunately, that he couldn't continue his playing days or become successful with the education he earned as an athlete. Thank you.